very good morning, dear viewers. Welcome to Mwareni TV live broadcast, where we explore critical issues affecting our country. I am your host, Mwareni Shamangi, aka Marlin Fernan Wallan. And today we dive into a pressing issue that has been making headlines, and that is none other than school fires. Well, reports indicate that over 30 school fire incidences have been recorded just in the past year, leaving authorities scrambling for solution. And Mwareni High School is the latest victim of these fires. To help us unpack this, we are joined by our esteemed guest, Professor Issa Kiema from Mwareni Emergency Response Team. Welcome, Professor Issa, to our studio.
Thank you, Elisha, for having me.
Can you have a seat, Professor?
Thank you.
All right, just to begin us off, give us a word or two about this discussion.
Well, indeed, Elisha, this is a critical discussion that cannot afford a smile even on our faces. But I'm glad to be here to shed more light on matter school fires, especially what triggers them and how we can curb them.
All right, back to your esteemed viewers. We are here. Stay tuned as we uncover this special coverage on the flames of discontent. Feel free to air out your concerns through our social media platforms as projected on the screen, and can also follow me on my X account, Elimamwa at Mwareni TV, under the hashtag #EndSchoolFire. And stay tuned. Welcome back, our beloved viewers. Professor, just to begin us off, we are talking of over 30 schools which have already gone up in flames. We can see Mwareni High School, we can see GJD High School, and many other schools. What's happening, Professor?
Well, indeed, it is very sad that these fire incidences are still happening, especially in our county. But I'm quite sure that the relevant authorities are putting in place, are coming up with a legal framework to ensure that this crisis comes to a halt. Unfortunately, you have me in the studio to provide our viewers with this necessary information on where we are as a country in terms of curbing school fires.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And to you, our esteemed viewers, just keep following us, keep raising your concerns, as Professor is going to unveil more on that. And Professor, we know viewers are out there eagerly waiting to hear what you're going to share today. So kindly, we need you to tell us more on what school fire. Give us the causes. Give us the just tell us more about school fire.
Well, indeed, school fires has been on the trends in the recent years, and right now we're talking about Mwareni High School. Well, there are several factors contributing to this crisis. One of them being student unrest due to grievances that have gone unheard, and even delayed school breaks. We have peer influence just to impress others in other schools. We can talk of exam-related stress, with some cases occurring just before major examinations, like mock exams. And lastly, Alicia, we have negligence in the school, where the warning signs are ignored by the relative of the schools.
All right, Professor, on that, kindly, and you to our esteemed viewers, do you think schools are doing enough on how they handle student grievances? Send your thoughts through our SMS platform 22265, or use the hashtag #EndSchoolFire. And Professor, do you think schools are doing enough on how they handle student grievances?
Well, that is a good question, Alicia. And unfortunately, most schools do not handle grievances the way they are supposed to be. And most of them only act after a crisis has occurred. But if students in these schools are given a proper communication channel, then these school fires wouldn't be happening right now in this country.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And to your esteemed viewers, just stay tuned, because we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be focusing on the devastating effects of school fire and its preventive measures. So kindly keep following Mwareni TV, keep raising your concern based on the effects and preventive measures of school fire. But in the meantime, take a look on our educative board and have a look of the long terms in matters ASON. See you all after the break. Welcome back, our beloved viewers. In the studio, we still have Professor Issa Kiema talking about matters ASON. Well, Professor, as we continue, I can see messages popping in, and most of them are touching on the preventive measures. But before we move on to this, Professor, can you take us through the related effects of school fire?
Well, indeed, I would like the viewers to know that school fires have got very devastating effects, and this everyone must know, so that the student may refrain from these school fires. We can talk of a massive loss of school property. We've seen students losing their lives in the event. And Alicia, we've seen parents suffering a financial burden, being forced to pay huge sums of money so as to compensate the loss which has occurred in the school. We've seen students and teachers going through psychological trauma, and that is a fact, Alicia, because we have witnessed this. And lastly, Alicia, we've seen the schools suffering a lot in terms of rebuilding the school infrastructure, and that is very, very bad.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And let's now interact with our viewers. And on our X account, I can see Masongo Digital says, with the rising cases of school fire, please ask Professor to talk about the preventive measures. Thanks for that, Masongo. And on our Facebook page, I can see Aisha Kiraga says, please ask Professor to mention more on the preventive measures. Professor, in reaction to the preventive measures, kindly take us through what are supposed to be put in place to help us curb school fire.
Well, thank you, Elisha, for the question. And I'm glad to inform the viewers that there are several measures that the relevant authorities have put in place. We have better student-teacher communication, so as the students to express themselves conveniently to the teachers. You can talk of strong security in the school, so as like through installation of CCTV cameras and through training of guards. You can talk of having a better communication channel, like having open forums where students can air their grievances in the school so that they can be heard whenever they have burning issues.
All right, do you mean like school barazas?
Really, of course.
And are you sure they'll work?
Well, in fact, yeah, they do work.
Come on, I don't think they do anymore.
Well, they do, and in many schools they have worked out many miracles.
All right, go on.
Well, and harsher punishment should be subjected to arsonists whenever they are caught in the school. Lastly, Elisha, parental involvement. And these parents have a huge role to play in this.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And on parental involvement, I think it's an interesting point. Kindly, using the right camera on your hand, address the parent on what role they should play to help us curb school fire.
All right, that one over there.
Yes, Professor.
Well, let me tell you this. Dear parents, let me tell you this because I'm also a parent. Most of our children go through a lot. They may be going through psychological trauma and even lack of attention. Dear parents, let us listen to our children, guide them and provide guidance so that we may curb these school fires before they can even start at the home level.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And as we come up to an end of our special coverage, Professor, because we've seen for us to prevent school fire, there must be joint effort from the parents, teachers, students, and the relevant authorities.
Exactly.
All right, so as because of time, kindly, Professor, give us your closing remarks on this matter.
Well, thank you, Elisha, for this opportunity. What I'd like to leave our viewers with is, whenever a school goes up in flames, it's not the buildings and lockers turning to ashes. It's the dreams of students going up in smoke. But if we truly care about education, we must listen and act so that we prevent these school fires before they may even start.
All right, thanks for that, Professor. And to you, our esteemed viewers, it goes without saying that schools are meant to be temple of knowledge, not battleground of distraction. And that brings us to an end of our special coverage on the flames of discontent. Before you go, I'd like to give a huge thanks to our guest today, Professor.
It was my pleasure.
And also to my incredible production team, and the most of it all comes to you, our esteemed, beloved viewers. I've been your host today, Mwareni aka Marlin Fernan Wallan. But before you go, we always say this: if you've never saw it in Mwareni TV, then it probably never happened. Till next time, have a blessed and wonderful time ahead. God bless you all.
Edu Channel, the national educator.